Good morning, and I've had to upload this video because there seems to be something wrong with Facebook Live this morning. So in this last of my three-part series on miscarriage, I'm just going to bring together what I've looked at in parts 1 and 2. So if you haven't watched parts 1 and 2, and this is a subject that is really close to your heart or someone that you love, please take the time to watch parts 1 and 2 before you watch this one. And this one I'll do a bit of a summary, but we'll just be looking at one final aspect to do with miscarriage before we leave the subject and move on to some new subjects next week. So we were looking at the absolute devastating loss of miscarriage and how it is that people just presume that it's a bit of a, it's nothing. It actually wasn't a baby, and that, you need to be strong and just keep going and replace the loss and don't feel bad and all of this rubbish and insane stuff that people say to you, not because they don't care, because of course they do, but because this is just a way we've been brought up and that is reinforced and told to us by all of society. And so we were looking at leaving those ridiculous notions to one side and really kind of just learning to be okay with not being okay and to really not listen as much as you possibly can to that stuff that people tell you, because the only person that you can control is yourself. You can't control what people are going to say to you. You can control what you say to yourself. You can control what you believe to be true, and you know that you're hurting, so to lie about that would be wrong. And only you can control how you respond and react. And so I just want to look a little bit at what other things that you can do. So parts 1 and 2, I've kind of covered all of that stuff. And in this one, I just want to reassure you that it's okay to have low periods of time as you're grieving the loss of your baby. And that don't forget that this loss sits on all of the other losses that you've gone through in your life. But just because the relationship has come to an end between you and your baby doesn't mean that the relationship between you and the baby in a spiritual or in a wishing, wanting way is not carrying on. And so you don't need to cease to have a relationship with that baby. There is nothing wrong with journaling, talking aloud, talking to that baby that you've already connected with and saying those things to your baby and having that conversation with your baby. And sometimes it's helpful for people to journal, to make little memorials somewhere that they can go and visit and talk to. And also then in anniversaries and anything that is important to you in your memory, that you have a place to kind of go to, that it's not just this, well, it's all done with, because that doesn't help in the grieving process. And so sometimes for some people it's easier just to talk it through, to journal it, to talk to someone. Obviously you can see a professional, or you can make a little memorial place where you can have a definite place to visit and go to, or maybe you actually do have one. Maybe it was a late miscarriage or a stillborn, and that you actually do have a place that you can go to, a grave. But it's nothing. That's not to say you can't make your own place of remembrance. And it's quite important for you to be able to say goodbye and to say goodbye to all of the things that you'd automatically planned, hoped, and dreamed for your child. And that just because that pregnancy did not go full term does not mean that you're not going to feel a tremendous sense of loss. Miscarriage is a huge deal. And to try and minimize that to appease yourself or others is a huge mistake, because it can keep you trapped in grief and it can keep you really trapped in a not very nice place. And we don't want those feelings suppressed. It is perfectly okay and perfectly normal to have a set of wishes, wants, and dreams and memories and what ifs, and to explore those as an important part of your recovery process. And that's really where I wanted to take you and lead you to today. So please watch these 3 things together. If I can help you in any other way, please send me a message. Otherwise, look out for some other videos I'll be doing on some different subjects next week that you might be able to relate to, or take a look back over the previous videos on my page. I specifically encourage you to look at the first two, but also look at the lies of grief that I've gone over in my prodigal playlist. You might find those helpful as well. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch my videos. I hope that they are useful to you, and I'll speak to you soon.